And we're going to stay with that story. Voter education, especially among South African youth, is still a huge concern, as the numbers have shown that the all-important youth vote is still dwindling. So how do we encourage the youngsters that are of legal voting age to go out and register in order to have a voice in shaping the future for generations to come? For this discussion, we've roped in Mr Siphesihle Dube, Chief Strategy and Communications Officer of Groundwork Collective. Siphesihle, very good evening to you, and thank you so much for joining us. We understand that you had a campaign in Maponya Mall this weekend. So what has your assessment been of how the youth actually relate to voter participation drives?
No, you're right, and good evening to your listeners. So we've seen, and we've been doing this, as you said, today we were at Maponya Mall, we've been doing this leg of the campaign for about a week already, and we've done all these activations in KZN, and we've been interacting and engaging with young people to really get to the nitty-gritty of what the problem is. And as you said, we found that young people are not apathetic as what people have thought was the case, but instead, I think they're disillusioned and very disappointed with politics and the politics of the day and what they've experienced in politics right now. So it's been really, really great to interact with them. We know that they are excited about the direction of their country, but they just have questions and reservations around politics being the vehicle to take them forward. And the campaign has been really an attempt to have them opt back into the political system and opt into voting and registering and participating in this democracy, because we do know that this is the only way that we can really take this country forward.
And what do you think is still lacking in terms of them being an integral part of voting? I mean, these are the future leaders of this country. Surely their interest should be at peak levels, particularly around times like elections.
Yeah, well, what's lacking currently in South Africa amongst this demographic, but also across the board amongst all South Africans, our research has shown that our levels of civic education are very, very low. And by that, we mean all the things that entail civics. So people don't know when they're voting, how they elect a president. They don't know that there are ward committees in their ward that they can participate in, they can direct budgets. Our democracy has been designed by constitution and other legislation to be super participatory. But South Africans in general across the board, but particularly young people, don't know, and they don't have the levels of civic education that empowers them to make their lives better and their communities better. So that's the work that we're doing at Groundwork Collective. So over and above just registering people to vote, we are also taking them along on a civic education journey, a very important civic education journey that elevates their knowledge of how government works, how their country works, how a country works, and how their communities can be empowered by how they intervene in those processes. So it's a very important journey that we're taking young people on, and it's a long-term journey that goes beyond the polls. And we want to see in later iterations of elections, in later cycles, a heightened level of civic education where people know that they can and they do have the power already in law to hold elected officials accountable between elections, and not just every 5 years at the polls. That there's things that they can do today to make not only their lives better, but the lives of their community members much better.
Specifically, yours is an independent organization, but then who does the sole responsibility to educate the youth on the importance of their participation in the elections rest upon?
So the responsibility is on all of us. It does fall on civic society when we can, but it's across the board. Unfortunately, we don't live in a situation, and we believe as Groundwork Collective, that civic education should be a part of life orientation at school. You should be learning these things about how to interact with the state as an individual that has rights and responsibilities in relation to the state. So that's what should be happening. So that responsibility has fallen on civil society to do so. I think there's a false impression that the IEC should be doing this work, but they are very, very tight for budget, and this isn't actually the core of their mandate. The core of their mandate is to run elections. So it falls on all of us as individuals, but particularly a civic society like our organization that has a keen interest on young people and young people progressing in life. And we know that this is a very, very key aspect of that each person, we've seen across the world in contemporary examples where heightened levels of civic education equate to changes in society, equates to young people being more central to the direction of their lives. And that's the journey that we hope to take people on. But yeah, it's very, very important that we understand that civic education is everybody's responsibility.
Absolutely. Now, any suggestions, Siphesihle, and ideas as to how these initiatives and drives should be initiated, maybe at school level, just so they have a basic understanding of how the political system actually works?
Yeah, so we've designed, as I said, we've designed this rollout of civic education in a way that's user-friendly. So we've partnered with Future Elect, another organization that has similar interest and aligned in terms of values as us, and they've devised a civic education module. So these are short videos, short 3-minute videos with audio and visual that are very captivating and people can really engage with, followed by quizzes around civic education. And we're creating these modules so that they are easy to access for anybody that's working with groupings of people. They can simply download these materials, share them, have their captive group of people take these quizzes so that we're all going along this journey together. So we are reaching out to everybody that we register through our portal and providing the civic education material to them, but it is available to anyone online. You can just go to our website, at groundworkcollective.org, and you'll be able to access ways in which to download this material and share it with your captive audience of people. As I said, this is all of our responsibility, but with our partners at Future Elect, we've tried to make this easier. We've tried to make accessing these materials and these resources easier for all South Africans.
Thank you so much for that. Siphesihle Dube, the Chief Strategy as well as Communications Officer of Groundwork Collective.